It's been over a month since the election. Let's see how well this has aged.
I'm here in Washington at a watch party. There's lots of Democrats here, and I have to say, a lot of them are starting to go home, and there's a lot of sad faces downstairs. I'm with one of those voters now. How do you feel about the election results so far?
Honestly, I'm kind of bored. This is America, so, oh my gosh, the black woman didn't win.
My God, looks like we're in for a rough ride. Let's get busy. Remember, don't like, share, or subscribe. What are you trying to do? Blow up the channel or something? I got enough on my plate.
You're bored. Are you worried?
Worried about America?
About Trump winning?
No. It wouldn't be the first time a rich white man wins, so it's okay. It's going to be the same as it always is.
And why do you think it looks like the race is going in his direction?
Oh, because of the economy, and people don't know how it works. So they just vote for how their purse feels, and that's what we're seeing today.
Well, removing the emotions from the moment, it gives us an opportunity now to look back and analyze everything that happened, and now the news cycles a month hence are giving us so much more information that's come out. The internal pollings for Kamala Harris, they never had her winning. She was not a great candidate. She went through $1.5 billion for abysmal results, obviously. They didn't win. They were never winning. And the identity politics, exactly what this disciple of the old guard of the Democrat Party, all of those feelings, platitudes, thoughts, ideas, is exactly why they lost. People are done with the identity politics. Yes, people vote with their pocketbooks. People of all stripes. There wasn't a county in the entirety of the country that Kamala did better than Biden or turned from red to blue. Whereas Trump overwhelmingly won every single county in the United States that he was expected to win, and even turned some counties. The folks that voted for him are from all stripes. They're from all modicums of color, all across the electorate. And this kind of beating down and insulting, that people just aren't smart. They're not educated. And that's why they voted for the white guy. No, they voted for the guy that had the best ideas, that fit into the narrative of what, in fact, people were feeling. They're feeling the struggle in the economy. Don't try to tell us that the economy is not stressed or strained in some way, because everybody sees it and feels it. They feel it at the gas pump. They feel it when they're paying for their electric bill. They feel it when they're paying for their gas bill. They feel it when they go to the grocery store. They feel that the power of their dollar doesn't go far enough. And when elitists like this, I would imagine, she sounds very educated, is talking down to the rest of us, that is why you lose elections. Let's keep going.
Do you think that Kamala will win? Do you think she's got any chance at this point?
She hasn't had a chance since Joe Biden stepped down. Honestly, in my opinion, she didn't have a chance. But, she can put up a good fight, I guess. That's what we do.
You don't sound too optimistic.
No, I was never optimistic. In America, optimism is not recommended. But, hey, we'll live another day.
So you think that she may not win because she's a black woman?
Oh, she definitely won't win because she's a black woman.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Not a big James Carville fan, but James Carville is exactly the person that called out this nonsense. These kind of young, obnoxious, arrogant, know-it-all Democrats that are in the party that were suggesting to Kamala, don't go on the Joe Rogan podcast, go on the Call Her Daddy podcast. That's why you lost. You lost because your candidate was inauthentic. You lost because your candidate didn't connect with the electorate. You lost because people just got the sense that she was not up for the job. Had nothing to do with her gender. Had nothing to do with her color. It had everything to do with her ideas were terrible. Let's remember, this is the same electorate and the same country that elected Barack Obama twice. This guy voted the first time for him. Why? Because I thought McCain was just weak in the knees. He took Sarah Palin, who was woefully unqualified and not ready to be one heartbeat away from the presidency. So I couldn't trust that ticket. So I crossed the line. And of course, you see, that's my fault. Very sorry, everybody, how that turned out in Obama's first term. But then again, it was good enough to get him a second term because he ran against a stiff like Mitt Romney. All of those guys who hated Trump. Why? Because Trump is authentic, he is brash, he speaks his mind, and even if you don't like the way he says, what he says, you know that's how he feels, which means he's presenting the real McCoy, who he actually is. So if you voted for him, you know who you voted for. If you voted against him, you knew who you voted against. Let's keep going.
And, you know, I'm looking at a lot of things, especially after David talked about looking at counties and, you know, how Trump is gaining on what he did in 2020. And to me, I'm mystified in some ways, simply because we're talking about a twice impeached, 4 times indicted, convicted on 34 felony counts former president. That's one bucket. Then in another bucket, you have all of the things he's been saying on the campaign trail that gets to the decency that the woman was talking about in that last report, and how she wanted to vote for Vice President Harris because she didn't like that Madison Square Garden rally. I am mystified that despite all of that, he's gaining support compared to 2020. And it gets back to something I said earlier at some point, one of the hours ago, that who are we as a country? And we're starting to find out. And from what I'm seeing right now, I'm not sure I like it.
And of course, that was from election night. What don't you like? The electorate spoke. They liked his ideas better. Really? What does it mean? It means the high cost of price of housing has to come down. You have to lean on the Fed a little bit. You have to walk illegal immigrants back out of the country. Okay? You have people that feel like they don't have upward mobility. The price of goods are too high because of input costs, producer price index, unfair competition from overseas that use practically slave labor to compete against the manufacturing in this country. Okay. What don't you understand? People that look like you voted for that guy. Or are they not enlightened? Or are they stupid? Or are they just not as smart as you? I mean, they wanted to brand him with the moniker of convicted felon. Mind you, he is not a convicted felon until he's sentenced. And all of that was a sham. Everything that happened in the abuse assault case in New York, where he was ordered to pay like $84 million, whether he paid that or not, yeah, who knows? I don't think so. They wanted to get him on these 34 counts of business fraud or the Stormy Daniels hush money payment. They wanted to get him on all that. They used lawfare against him because they thought that was going to slow him down, that was going to stop him from attaining the highest level of command in all the country and of the free world, the high office. But you see, the electorate is smarter than all that nonsense and saw right through it.
The thing I think is most important to remember is the people who said that he was a Hitler lover weren't Democrats, they were Republicans. People who said that he was a fascist weren't Democrats, they were Republicans who worked for him. And so it's not just these elite Democrats over here, you know, poisoning the well. You had a pretty broad consensus from Chomsky to the Cheneys, that was very, very concerned and remains concerned. And so I think it's not just on us to stop calling names. I think it's up to him to, as Allison said, with deeds show that he's not going to be those things.
Chomsky to the Cheneys, an America hater and warmongers in the Cheneys. Do you remember how much people hated Dick Cheney? Liz Cheney, the apple fool doesn't fall far from the tree. So, and now they have just been ushered off into nothingness again. And even as it stands this day, there is like these preemptive pardons that are being considered for the Cheneys and the Adam Schiffs and all these people that used lawfare to go and character assassinate Trump, to jam him up in court, to suggest that he was defrauding the electorate by giving a hush money payment to a porn star, or that he was overvaluing Mar-a-Lago. Two sophisticated lenders and borrowers in a high-level deal where there were no victims, taken up by the AG of the state of New York. And you still can't stop them. And it's going to get overturned on appeal if they just don't throw it out completely at this point. This is what it has descended into. But now, looking back, all of a sudden, all the nations are now getting in line. Daddy is coming back home and going to take off the belt. And he's going to start punishing everybody that's not in line. And as you could see, everyone is lining up. Macron went down to Mar-a-Lago. You had all the world leaders that are contacting Trump. The Mexican president is stopping caravans coming to the States. Everyone's getting back in line. Because finally you have a strong arm that says, you're not going to take advantage of me, my people, my country. Not on my watch.